How's it? Today is Friday, January 27th, and it is another small Friday. These are actually turning into medium Fridays pretty quickly. Today was 115 jerk, 85 snatch, 105 clean. Um, I don't know if it's just the idea of doing the jerk first or what, but these jerks are pretty difficult. I think 115 is not very heavy. I can power jerk 115. I can power jerk. My best power jerk I think is 130. So, I mean that was a long time ago. That was like 3, 4 years ago at this point. But 115 is not something that I really even think about like struggling with. So when I warmed up today, like I did bar 40, 60, 80, 100, and then I went to 115. That first rep at 115 was um, a challenge. I had a massive press out. I'm not sure if it's me not warming up properly or if it's actually difficult. Um, I think the two after that were really solid and they were good reps overall. But when you think about how difficult it was for that first one, it's just like I don't think it should ever be that difficult. Something that I was dealing with as well for this was my wrist. I believe I talked about it before in the past, but it has this in certain positions. It has this kind of numbness on my right wrist. It doesn't happen all the time, and it's I'm not super sure when I can like if I can replicate it. So here's my first set here. I don't know if it's the position in my wrist that's really dictating it or the tightness of the wrist wrap. It could be a combination of both, but that's definitely that press out that I was talking about. But I'm not sure if like overhead it is from poor positioning again or the wrist wrap being too tight. It doesn't really happen with snatches, so to me that's like something that is probably due to the position. Eh, not sure. Here's my third rep here. Second one was pretty solid, and yeah, third one is pretty solid as well. After that, I moved into my snatches. I think today was pretty good. I think that the quality of my reps were significantly better than last week. I think it was last week that I mentioned that for the first time in a long time, it felt like I wouldn't have been able to snatch 100, which is pretty sad to think about. I think 100 is not very heavy, and it's quite far from where I want to be. But if I'm not even able to snatch that weight, that's a telling sign of where I am and the progress I've made or the regression I've experienced. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think one thing I was really worried about today was my calf or I guess my knee being an issue. It really didn't show up as anything today. Like I didn't do that warm up that I did on Wednesday, largely because I woke up really late and I wanted to make sure that I got out of work or out of the gym in time enough to get to work on time. But even the start position for these lifts wasn't really hampering me at all. Like it kind of did on Monday. But yeah, I'm pretty. Ooh, yeah, I remember doing this too as well. When the bar bounced up, it really hit into my thumb, and in the moment, it was pretty painful. I didn't think that I would be able to lift continuing on. But after a couple lifts and a couple minutes of just kind of sitting down and doing nothing, it basically went away. And there's no way that I would have known that, moving forward. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've never experienced the bar bouncing up that high before and actually hitting my thumb. I've heard of people actually breaking their thumbs with that type of thing, with bouncier plates. But to me, these plates are not as bouncy as like the high temp Rogue ones, like the recycled rubber ones. Those are always really bouncy. That snatch here at 70 was pretty weird as far as kind of extending and then pushing my body under. And then I think I fixed it a little bit with this 80, and then 85 is my first set at weight. There's one thing that I was thinking about a lot lately. Um, this is not talking about my elbows this time, which I've been talking about for weeks at a time. Pretty good there, right? And then this last one too. Here we go. Pretty easy, pretty smooth. Really happy with the control that I had on that. My knee was about to crack there, so it kind of winced in little pain. Not the same pain that I was talking about earlier. But I'm thinking about the way that actually Jason lifts. It's very, very, very quick. So he really extends um, fully, and then he gets under the bar very quickly. And that's something that I typically don't do, but it's something that I think I am trying to practice now, moving forward, especially with snatches. I think cleans are a little bit easier for me. The bar is really close to me on cleans, so it doesn't really hamper my ability to execute on the cleans. Here's my first set at 105. You see that kind of that separation between extension and getting under the bar. That it's not something I really think about. I used to always tell G1 when I was coaching him was that like if you can get the bar high enough, then that's great because the amount of speed you have under the bar really won't change. You can't get faster under the bar. You know, it's gonna happen as quickly as you can, always, more or less. Um, it's kind of a weird thought that I came up with on my own, like a philosophy thought. But after all of the lifts there, I did my pull-ups and my GHD sit-ups. I actually finished this workout in under 2 hours, which was really awesome. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with today, especially with perspective of how last week went and also how my knee felt from Friday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, last week and earlier this week. But yeah, I am pretty excited to start lifting heavier again. We'll see what happens. Um, but that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Shoots.